Hi, my name is Sylvia Joe, and I just finished my first week on the keto diet. And I am posting weekly updates to let everyone know my progress as I go through this process. There's plenty of before and after pictures out there that, sometimes even people feel like they're fake, but I'm not going to say that they are or not. I'm making my own before and after pictures, but in addition to my before and after progress pictures, I'm also posting a video every week that where I will discuss what I've learned, what I'm, explains what I'm trying to accomplish, any wins that I had during the week, and, hopefully instead of just seeing a before and after pic, then you can see my face, my arms, things like that as I progress through this process. Just a little bit of background. Around mid-December, I weighed 310 pounds. And by January 1st, I got to 302. That was not on keto. That was doing other stuff, being active, working really hard. And then on February the 2nd, I'm down to 294. Now, one of the things that kind of weighed on my mind is when I saw my body scans. I use Fit 3D that shows you your body fat percentage, tells you your lean mass and things like that. I noticed that I lost some lean mass, and that really bothered me. I want my body to lose fat, not lean mass. So I'm hoping that in doing the keto diet, I train my body to burn fat and I can preserve as much lean mass as possible. So here's some things that I learned the past week. First of all, what is it that we're trying to accomplish with the keto diet? What makes it so special? Well, what you're trying to accomplish with the keto diet is you're trying to force your body into a state, not just to lose weight, because any low carb diet can do that, but you're trying to force your body into a state where it's focused on burning body fat. Okay? And here's my understanding of how this happens. First, you change your diet and you want to increase your fats and decrease your proteins and your carbs. Now, most of us know that carbs and sugars they make glycogen, and that's what your body wants to use as fuel first. Now, what I learned this week is that protein actually burns in the body. It turns into glycogen or burns like sugar. So your body will use that as fuel too. I don't want my body to do that. So what the keto diet does is it limits a lot of that so that your body is forced to focus on the fat that you're putting in your body and the fat stores that you have to use as fuel. Now, once you're following this diet, eventually your body is going to start making ketones because the liver makes ketones when it processes fat. And I understand, from my understanding, your brain also needs either glycogen or ketones to function. So your body's going to make those ketones so that your brain can use that as fuel. You're going to burn ketones and you're also going to burn fat as fuel as well. So how do we get into this state? We follow that diet. How do I know when I'm in ketosis? Well, there's lots of different ways. I've heard that people have, there's like a breath test, there's blood tests. From my understanding, a lot of that stuff is expensive. One of the ways that a lot of people in my group use is these ketone strips. These are available at Walgreens, Rite Aid, most pharmacy stores. And what you do is you pass them through your urine and wait 15 seconds. And if it starts changing colors to match this pink color, then your body's making ketones. And if your body's making ketones, then you're in ketosis. Now, I thought once you hit ketosis, your body's burning fat, you're good to go. But what I learned is there's a second step to the process. Step 1 is to get your body making the ketones. Step 2 is to become keto fat adapted. So you can have a long sleep and your body will make ketones if you've had a long period of time without eating. But to keep ketones in your system and train your body to go for the fat, then you have to become fat adapted. So when you're fat adapted, these are the signs. And that's when you've been in the state of ketosis long enough that your body's trained to do this. But the signs that you're fat adapted and your body's fueling itself off of fat is your breath might smell a little bit because fat leaves the body through urine and through your lungs and through your breath. So make sure you have some breath strips. Next, you're going to notice improved energy. You're going to sleep better. You're going to not crave carbs or sugar. You're going to have increased physical endurance and a decreased appetite. Like you're going to be able to skip meals and not be ready to hurt somebody, or like I like to say, hangry. That's hungry and angry all together. So those are kind of the goals of what you're trying to accomplish. Once you're fat adapted, of course you want to stay in that as long as possible, as long as you have tons of fat like I do to get rid of. Now, one thing I learned about, and I think I avoided it, that happens when you're transitioning from the way that you used to eat to going into ketosis and being in ketosis is there's something called the keto flu, where you start feeling flu-like symptoms because it's such a shock to your body. I was fortunate enough to have someone tell me about this before I even started and tell me how to avoid it. The way you avoid it is to make sure you're having enough electrolytes in your system. Magnesium, potassium, sodium. Make sure you're getting plenty of that as you're making this transition. So it's my understanding it takes, anywhere from a day to weeks to get into ketosis, where your body's making ketones, and it could take weeks to months to get your body fat adapted. So that's the whole process of what I've learned about this, hopefully in layman's terms. If you have anything to add or suggestions, or if I got something wrong, sure, let me know in the comments. Now, let's talk about what I've experienced so far this week. I've had quite a few extraordinary things happen to me in this first week of ketosis. The first thing is, I started making ketones on day 4. Usually that doesn't happen for somebody starting brand new. Now, I think what helped me is that I had this stomach virus for 5 days and I couldn't keep anything down. I was barely eating. So as I came out of that and was healing, instead of focusing on, oh my gosh, I had that stomach virus, I maximized that opportunity. Since I haven't had that much sugar and carbs, I figured this was a great time to go ahead and do this keto diet thing. And since I hadn't had that much carbs and sugar, maybe I wouldn't crave it. And I feel like I was right because I'm not craving it. The next thing is I started feeling fat adapted on day 5 and 6, meaning normally I'm sluggish in the mornings, getting out of bed, going to work out, and it takes me a while to just get moving, and I have aches in my body. But starting Wednesday and Thursday, I woke up with plenty of energy. I knocked out my CrossFit workouts on an empty stomach and still left there and was able to do so much and had sustained energy throughout the day. Friday, I was just like this exploding ball of energy all day. I just felt like I could do anything. And I didn't feel the aches in my legs and things like that. So that's a lot of the reason why I feel like I'm keto adapted already. And I know it's unheard of for that to happen so fast, or it's very rare, but I think, deciding to make that switch right after that stomach virus really just helped me out. So another extraordinary thing that happened, and this one is a big one, is that my blood pressure is down. Usually with medication, my blood pressure runs 145, around 135 to 145 over 80 something, or 90 something. And starting on day 5 of this first week of being in ketosis, my blood pressure started running 120 something over 80 something. I had a day of 118 over 78. So I'm really hopeful that I can sustain this diet and this lifestyle change, and that I can lower my dosage of the blood pressure medicine and eventually come off of it. This is a really big deal for me. So those are some extraordinary things where things happen for me really fast and I'm reaping the benefits and just feel great. Now, I may have spoken too soon. It could be next week I'm hit with this keto flu, and if it does, I will definitely tell you on my next update. So here's a few things that have helped me so far in my progress, that if you're deciding to start the keto diet, that I would suggest for you too. One, get a support group. There's plenty of online groups on Facebook and just web pages where you can be a part of a support group where people who are already going through this process can help you out. Watch videos online. I will link a few videos on my channel as soon as I learn how to do that. This is only my second video. So, I'll start linking things like that. Next, get a good app that will help you track your macros. You want your macros to be about 70% good fats, 25% protein, and about 5% net carbs. P-strips. These P-strips will tell you if you are in making ketones or in ketosis. That's what I use. I've heard there's other ways there's blood tests, there's breath tests, but those machines are expensive. I just want to know if I'm making ketones. And as long as I am, I'm good. And use them for motivation. I was really excited this week as I was checking to see, am I making ketones yet? Am I making ketones yet? And once I started making ketones, then I kept checking to make sure, I didn't do anything with my diet that was going to take me out of ketosis. So then I kept checking just to make sure I stayed in ketosis. Lastly, look up food lists. I will, if I can, I will find a way to post these. But I found several pages, a three-page thing that shows all the different foods that you can have. It's just about every kind of meat, every kind of green, veggies. You have broccoli, Brussels sprouts, avocado, celery, cabbage, zucchini, asparagus, like every kind of green veggie. But you can also have some fruits, strawberries, blueberries, raspberries. I didn't realize I could have tomatoes. That made my day yesterday. So look up all of the different foods that you can have on this diet. This just kind of opened my menu world to all the possibilities, and I don't feel deprived. I'm not craving carbs. I'm not craving sugars. But instead of focusing on all the things that I can't have, I'm trying to make sure I keep my focus on all the things that I can have and new ways of cooking these things. So that is my week 1 update. I know it's kind of long, but I just learned so much during this week and felt like I needed to share what I've learned and what's happened to my body along the process. It's possible that future updates won't take this long. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope that there was something that, if you're starting, that you learned from this and that I can be of help in the future. Bye.